I have an overactive guilt complex. Even when I was a very young child, when I would do something that violated the spirit of my moral code, I would be devastated and dwell on what I had done for hours, days, months, even years. I still feel genuine deep guilt for things that I did when I was in elementary school. For example, my great uncle, who was wildly athletic well into his retirement years, would often participate in high-level competition track meets. So we as a family would occasionally go out and see him if he was going to be competing anywhere near where we were living. At one particular event, it was cold. I mean bitterly cold. I seem to recall slush, sleet type things dwelling in the air, but I'm not 100% sure. As I said, I was very young at the time. But all I knew that I was cold all over. And so, when our parents gave us an opportunity to get something from the snack stand, I immediately latched onto the idea of getting a hot chocolate. Now, we also didn't drink a great deal of pop in my house. And so, my sister decided that she would get a soda. I don't remember what she got, and it doesn't really matter. I got my hot chocolate, she got her pop. Well, focusing primarily on the fact that I was freezing beyond what I could comprehend, I took a sip of the hot chocolate as soon as I got it. Now, I don't know what they make this hot chocolate out of, but I think that they should call it lava. And it's neat because they wouldn't even have to call it lava chocolate because it's so hot that you can't taste the chocolate. All you taste is the inside of your mouth burning off. And after a very quick just sip, I knew that instantly this wasn't going to work. My mouth was in agony now. I'm still cold everywhere else, but my mouth is on fire. And I need to deal with that. So, as many people do when you're a child, you often are willing to exchange a sip of a thing for a sip of a thing, or a bite of a thing for a bite of a thing, if somebody has something that you're interested in. Well, I didn't set out to injure my sister, but I knew that she had something that was cold that would feel good against my lava-melted face. And so I immediately offered her a sip for a sip deal. She handed me her soda and I took a quick sip of it just to, feel better. What didn't occur to me is that she would immediately not just take the hot chocolate and take a sip of the hot chocolate, but do that thing that siblings sometimes do where, as opposed to taking a commensurate sip, I take a medium sip, you take a medium sip, or a small, she was going to maximize her value in this exchange. And so she took what was arguably the biggest sip of a drink I had ever seen taken at any time in my life, and promptly melted her own face off. But hers was so much worse than mine because I had taken a tiny sip, she had taken a sip of a lifetime, and burned up the inside of her mouth in a way that left her basically unable to taste food for the next couple of weeks. Now, this was when we were both maybe in first and second grade, respectively. But to this day, I feel guilty. Even though she did try to steal as much of my drink as possible, it doesn't make any difference to me. Like deep down, I still feel like a monster. So I should probably have that checked out. Does anybody know any good hypnotherapists?